Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're taking a look at my Chevy Volt and got some exciting news here. We just crossed over 75,000 miles on this vehicle. So to give a little bit of a backstory here, this is a 2013 Gen 1 Chevy Volt. It has, like I said, 75,000 miles on it. It is a base model, so as you can see, the interior is very basic. Cloth seats, basic plastics on the door sills, no heated seats, but it does have automatic climate control, and just regular wipers, regular headlights and cruise control, so it's nothing overly special by any means, but it gets me from point A to point B, so I don't have to drive any of these gas guzzling SRT vehicles. So after 75,000 miles, what has gone wrong with it? Well, number one, right off the bat, this was a California car, originally shipped to California in the LA area. And if you open up the vehicle here, you will see that it has a lemon law buyback. So the title to this motor vehicle has been inscribed with the notation lemon law buyback. No person shall knowingly remove or alter this decal. So when I was purchasing this vehicle, it was very, I felt very insecure doing it. But after talking with the salesman and the service department, I found out that the battery coils of the vehicle were actually replaced. So essentially, it just had been sitting in the shop too long, and there wasn't any availability to get parts or anything like that. And it was just some battery issues that were replaced, and I have had no issues with that. That had been done in 2014. So the next owner, after the vehicle was set up on auction, the next owner bought this in, or I should say near Sparta, Wisconsin, where I bought from Maurice Sparta Chevrolet, and drove that for 10 years before trading it in on a vehicle. And he didn't put a lot of miles on it, and he never had any issues with it. And the dealership never had any issues with it because that's where it was always serviced at. So I bought it pre-owned from that dealership, and now I put on over almost 8,000 miles on the vehicle now in only 6 months time, not even, and it's been flawless. It has been truly perfect. One little slight issue that I've had is when you put the vehicle into low, which is the most regenerative mode, it can get a little clunky. And from what the forums online have told me is that it's just a bolt or something that is loose. So when I take this in for an oil change, which I won't do anytime soon, I will get that looked at. But enough about the exterior here. I mean, there's really not much to say about this. What I do need to do is touch up this gray a little bit more. There's just some of that polish on there that I don't really like, and I need to touch that up. But the paint has held up miraculously. All the plastics, everything like that. You just got some bug spots here. I apologize about that. Even the hood has held up extraordinarily well. It's very smooth, and there's really not much for any sort of rock chips. So definitely props to GM here. And I'm not a GM guy, clearly, by any means. I'm a Mopar enthusiast. But the paint quality and everything on this Volt is really ahead of its time, especially for GM back in 2013. This product was way over-engineered and definitely lives up to the Volt moniker. So let's get this on the road and see how it drives. And just to show you that I do have 75,000 miles on it, there it is there. I just crossed over yesterday. I do a lot of driving in this vehicle, and you can see I put on just a hair over 7,000 miles on the vehicle since I bought it. We're taking off in the Volt, and the first thing you're gonna notice here right away, we've got 141 horsepower. We've got 260-ish foot-pound of torque. So I think off the top of my head, and let's get this clear, there's a battery pack below me and behind me. That is what powers the vehicle. And then the 1.4 liter 4-cylinder engine up front is the gas generator. It's like an extended range pack, essentially, that allows you to recharge your vehicle while you're driving. And it really does just that. I've got on a half a tank of gas, which is about 4.5 gallons, plus my 33 miles of electric range, I've got 209 miles of total range, which I, of course, won't need to worry about right now because I'm just driving to golf practice and then to home. So that's pretty sweet there. But first thing you're going to notice, back to the point here, this vehicle is so smooth when driving, and if you've never experienced an electric vehicle before, the first thing you're going to notice, whether it's this, whether it's a Tesla, whether it's a Porsche Taycan, whatever it is, the first thing you're going to notice is that the power delivery is linear and it's smooth. There's no gear changes, there's no nothing. You just push the pedal down and you go. It's pretty sweet. And while 0 to 60 in this vehicle is 9 seconds flat, the 0 to 30 time is 3 seconds. So you do get a little bit of that oomph, and you can totally feel it with the torque from that 0 to 30. And where this vehicle really lacks is that upper range from 60 miles an hour plus. When you're going to make a pass, you really have to plan that pass out, or when you're merging onto the highway, you don't have that instant acceleration that you would expect out of a normal car this size. So you do have to keep that in mind a little bit when you are driving it. But for an everyday commute like what I have, I can charge at my house, I can charge at my business, and it's perfect. I rarely ever use gas unless I'm going on a longer road trip, which is most of the 33.7 gallons of gas that I've used since I purchased the car. That's mostly where it has come from. So it's just such a smooth car. The suspension is set up to be more on the comfort side than on the sporty side, but because the fact that the weight on this vehicle is low because of the battery pack, you've got weight over the front axle, you've got weight over the rear axle. You could throw, and the steering is super, super light. It's electronic steering, of course, or electric steering, and the braking is brake-by-wire. So the brakes aren't quite as easy to modulate because of the brake-by-wire system, but it's still pretty good. It is definitely solid there. But because the weight is so low, you can really throw this thing into a corner and kind of have a little bit of fun with it. I find myself doing that a little bit too much as I'm used to my SRT vehicles. I find myself throwing this into a corner and definitely squealing the tires way too much. And that's not, of course, what the car was designed for. But you can have a little bit of fun with it, especially going from 0 to 30. If you want a little bit more of a sporty version, then go for the Cadillac ELR for sure. But on bumpy roads, it eats up, it just soaks up because of the 17-inch rims. It just soaks up the bumps with ease. You're never being jarred around. And the only complaint I have about this, and it's really a complaint of my own, is that this base model, the seats, while they are wide, they don't hug you in. They're not super soft, and the steering wheel is typical Chevrolet pure vinyl. It's not very comfortable. Now, if you want something that's a little bit more comfortable, you can go for the LT or the Premier. I know I've test drove Volts that are nicer than this. Adaptive cruise control, heated seats, all that stuff, and leather seating, and they're a lot more comfortable than these seats here. But with all that being said, this is my A to B car, and it's never failed me once, and I can confidently say that. I would definitely take this on a road trip, on a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hour road trip for sure. No questions asked. This would be my vehicle. I feel safe in it because it weighs 4,000 pounds. I feel like I can have a little bit of fun in it, especially when it's on electric mode. Not necessarily on the gas mode. There's a little bit of a delay from the pedal to the actual acceleration, but and I just truly feel safe in the vehicle, which is something that as somebody coming from larger cars, that's saying a lot right there. That's definitely saying a lot. And honestly, out of all the vehicles I've bought in my 27 years of age, which is 13, I think, 13 or 14. It's been a ton. This ranks in the top 3 of all vehicles I bought, even though this is the most basic vehicle I've ever bought. It turns heads, surprisingly. It actually looks pretty good on the road. It handles excellent. For this category of car, I couldn't really ask more from the handling aspect of it. Again, it just soaks up bumps with ease. It's very, very, very quiet, much more quiet than any Chevrolet of this era, for sure. And it just soaks up the miles. It really does. The user interface in this is very easy to use. The ergonomics of the vehicle are great, and after 75,000 miles, I feel like I could probably go another 75,000 miles, and that's kind of what I bought the vehicle for. And not to mention, these vehicles do come with a 30% or up to $4,000 tax credit at the end of the year. So this vehicle, of course, it has to be purchased. It cannot be purchased and then sold and then purchased and sold. Once you use a tax credit, it's done for the vehicle. So this was a vehicle that was traded in. It had not been purchased after the tax credit was put into place. And then now, of course, I use the tax credit up. So as somebody who pays a lot of thousands, tens of thousands of dollars into income taxes every year, I will get $2,400-ish back because of the purchase of this vehicle, which is great. So in it all, because of the branded title and the mid-level mileage, I think it had about 68,000 miles when I bought the car. Before the tax credit, it was a hair over 7,200. I think it was right at 7,200, and then of course after the tax credit you're looking at, or it was a hair over 7,500, and then after the tax credit it was $5,200 before tax, title, and license. So an awesome vehicle for the price. I definitely can't complain about it. I have driven this car a ton, and I have loved this car a ton. I can't tell you how often it brings a smile to my face by driving the vehicle and ultimately saving money. I mean, I'm paying $50 a month to run this vehicle, essentially, minus gas costs. So I put at $4 a gallon, roughly, at 33 gallons. You have, that comes out to about $132, somewhere right around there. So not bad over 7 months, over 6 to 7 months. So in it all, I'm very glad I bought it. 75,000 miles on my Chevy Volt has been flawless and perfect, and I could definitely say I would do it again. Highly, highly, highly recommend looking at one of these vehicles, especially if this is your daily driver and you have a fun car for the weekend like I do, or you have a truck, or you have a Jeep or something, you pull your equipment or your fun stuff, your toys, whatever. This is the car for you as that daily driver. So with that being said, folks, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.